So, welcome back to yet another episode of Bezos Chivozi. Today's episode is quite special to me because for the very first time, I'm not alone. I have a guest with me, and this guest is not any kind of guest. He's quite a good friend of mine. He has played a major role in my personal journey, and actually, this is someone that unexpectedly became my friend, but we have been good friends and he's a good inspiration to me. So, joining me today is a tennis lover, a podcast lover, and soon a host of his own show. And not only did he land me my first job, he has been a great example of how you can balance your corporate life with passions and even play. Like they say, work without play makes Jack a dull boy. This is Chivozi. Let me introduce to you my good friend, Raymond Chirunji. Welcome to the podcast. For the first time, I have a guest. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, Raymond, we kick off things from the beginning. Tell me about your childhood. What was it like? What are some of the lessons you learned and you took away from your early childhood that have made you today?
Okay, my childhood. Well, my childhood was actually a bit dull, but I was actually privileged enough to live in different parts. I come from Hoima, but my mom comes from the east, so my early childhood actually spent it in Busia, Tororo, and then later on I was able to travel to Hoima to live with my dad. But childhood was fun, especially for the first years where I was alone. I have 3 brothers now, but it was fun.
So there is a big gap between you and your brothers.
No. Actually, there is 4 years between me and the next one, Ryan. And then with the next one, it's 11 years. So not so big.
So you first said dull and then you said a bit interesting because you were alone at the beginning.
Yeah.
Would the dull have come when the rest came?
Actually, why I say dull is because I remember so little about my childhood before, let me say, P2. Actually, remember very little. So I characterize that whole period to be dull.
I think it's the same for almost everyone. You start to take tabs with life when it starts to get more interesting.
Now, I have my brother Ryan. Okay. Ryan remembers the day he was born. Like, this guy remembers so much of, what they used to dress him in, the places we used to go to. It is weird, but weirdly, he is right.
Okay.
You get it? When he says, I remember when you were sick, and there was a time I was really sick when I was young, and they admitted me like I couldn't breathe well, what? The kid surprisingly remembers that, and he was like, I think like 3 or something like that. And that was the time we were still in Busia, so that's around P2, P3. Okay. So I think it depends.
Okay, so does any of those memories shape who you are today or the way you understand the world and things of that sort? Because the early part of our lives is so crucial in who we are right now and how we shape up to be.
I think the part that has shaped my life mostly has been that I've spent most of my life with my dad. So from P3, P4, spent it with my dad. Then my mom joined us in P5. Then my dad transferred to Kampala, and then I followed him in P6, P7, senior 1, all the way up to now actually. Because my mom works in Hoima, my dad works in Kampala. So I would say out of the 23 years, I've spent 18 or more with my dad. Okay. And I think that has been the biggest influence on how I've turned out to be. Yeah.
Being with your dad, is that a better experience or
It's not actually that my mom wasn't there.
Okay.
But this is someone you see in the morning, you see in the evening, and then maybe you would see your mom when she comes around on weekends or during holidays, things like that. But definitely my dad is tough, to say the least. My mom was actually tougher. Yes, but being that I was more exposed to the wrath of my dad, and he's the one who could easily get you and punish you.
Yes.
And I still remember he slaps. Guy has a huge hand.
Okay. Okay. Does your being with your father in your early ages affect maybe the way you relate with the female gender? And because most guys that grow up with their parents, but only the father, most times you find they know how to relate more with fellow men, not in the sense of sexually, but
Yeah.
socially.
Yeah.
Socially, and they have a few social skills with the opposite gender. They find it very hard. I also understand you are in single sex school, so do you find it hard to socialize with the other gender?
With girls, actually, now it's two ones. So physically, no.
Yes.
Online, yes.
Okay.
According to what I know. So then with gents, it's always been easier to talk to fellow gentlemen, but it has been more difficult for me with people my age. Okay. I try to notice that actually when I was growing up. I found it easier to talk to people that were older than me, because I have this way of not actually being submissive, but you play to the respect that they want you to portray when you're speaking to them. There are people who don't have that ability. And then with people who are younger than me, I don't know why, but I connect very well with people that, and then I always had it, actually I think I had it harder connecting with my classmates, and that's how I concluded on the whole being hard to connect with my age mates. Yeah, always the introvert among my peers, but I don't know.
But are you working on it? Because
Not actively, no.
not actively.
No,
Okay.
it's not something that has affected me a lot.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm blind to that side, but no.
But it's explainable because your father is a lot more older than you are.
Yeah.
So you would easily understand how to be with more grown people and all that. So do you find that more grown people, okay, are there those lessons you learned from those grown people, your relationship with the adults, to weigh to the side of your relationship with young people? Is there anything you learn from that? Because at some point you end up maybe seeing your life faster than other people. or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely got this whole thing of taking on more responsibility than my age. Okay, I don't want to actually call it that, but I want to say I'm more responsible than I should have been at given ages. Trying to find work, trying to do all this. There were a lot of times when I was in campus, and I was thinking way ahead. Okay.
Because
And
the background.
yeah, and you would see people. I actually felt envious because I felt like I was missing out on things. But then at the same time, you have this invisible clock in your head that tells you, you know what, you need to get this, you need to get this, so that by the time you are 30, like dad was, or by the time you are like uncle is, you have some things figured out. And you see your friends, I won't say relaxed, but taking life and enjoying it actually.
Yeah.
But then you have this whole burden on you. You kind of have foresight to see.
But I think it has been beneficial to you because you're not moving in a bad trajectory. Like I could say, other people could be that have been wasting their lives, but you're moving. You're moving.
Yes, but I still feel that FOMO, that fear of missing out. Actually, now it's not even fear. It was the missing out part. It was deep.
Yeah.
It was deep, yeah.
I will relate a lot with that because I also grew up mostly with my dad.
Yeah.
And my mom was in the early, about 6 years is when I met my dad fully and started to live with him. But I feel the same. I don't know how to relate with ladies that much, but
Okay.
I'm okay with the online. I'm okay with the online because there are tools to better that. But I don't want also to fake it. I don't want also to fake it.
Yeah.
Because some people fake it. Now, moving a bit faster, fast forward.
Yeah.
A bit on your corporate life because you're employed.
Yes.
And you also helped me land my first job.
Mm.
How has the journey been? How has the journey been? What are the challenges you faced? And what were the steps to what you are right now?
I would say at first I was excited,
Okay.
and then in the middle there it got overwhelming, and I am getting there, but it's still hard.
Were you excited like those employees for the first month? They are very serious.
Definitely.
Then later the momentum reduces.
I used to go to work 8, come back or leave work at 8.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. I was excited. My boss usually reached the moment of reporting me to my supervisor that, what, this guy is here from 8 to 8. He needs to rest here on Sunday. I told you I used to work Sunday.
Okay. Okay.
I was excited.
Mm.
Plus, man, I was getting some money. The money was definitely an excitement from the whole, coming out from not having what you could show for yourself, and then you now have some cash on you.
Yeah. Could it be also because you grew up with your dad? Was he making you look like you need to make it, you need to work hard?
Definitely in now let me say, like, in my Form 1, okay, through my secondary, actually from primary, the time I joined him in P6,
Okay.
this guy used to wake up early to go to work.
Yeah.
He clocks in for work 7:30, comes back late. So I definitely grew up seeing that. But then I didn't expect for it to, like, just be automatic. In you just get to work, you want to do this, get to do this, get to do this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be automatic.
So waking up early, were you the early worm that catches the bus? Or were were you the worm that was being caught by the bird?
On and off.
Okay.
Depending on how motivated I was.
Mm.
Because, there would be those days whereby you wake up and you're drained.
Mm.
But mostly, yeah.
Yeah, corporate life is not a joke.
Mm.
But okay, talking about the people you work with, do you find anything that you think we need to know, learn, how we need to handle for those that have not yet joined the corporate world, so that by the time the thing comes, we at least know, I had this from Raymond, and I think I could handle it the way he handled it.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting to learn how to be an employee, especially when you're working with teams. Because personally, for me, actually, the hardest thing about being employed has been working with people, or actually in the corporate world. There is a very difficult balance that comes with working with other people. You have to adjust to their expectations, or you have to work within their limits. There is a lot of politics that comes in when people come in, and then the negative energy that ensues you if you start, hitting performance metrics, things like that. It's difficult to a point, but you would have to learn the people. Okay, you learn the people you are working with, or the people that you have been engaged with, and then you get to realize that, what, this person is like this person is like this. So if I am breaching a topic, let me say, with them, I can't go like this, or this person is unreliable in this case. And I would say you need to be strong enough, because me being or entering the corporate world when I was, I won't say young, but relatively younger than my workmates,
Yeah.
there would be that level of, what's this young man?
Young
They
man.
call you young man.
Younger boy.
This younger boy, what is this younger boy saying? You
Mm.
know, there is that level of, it's not actually even disrespect. It's just, it's natural. It comes natural to them, but to you, it keeps you back.
You talked about negative energy with the people and people not meeting your KPIs. I understand at some point you are either superior to older people than you are.
Yeah.
So that the younger boy thing comes in, and
Yeah,
how
because
did you handle these negative guys? Because negative energy can distract.
yeah, and a lot. And I actually realize sometimes they don't know they are doing it. You get it? Because they are just negatively biased that, yes, this person has gone to school, or they may not even consider that this person has qualified themselves to be in the position that they are in. But they will just,
They'll just be negative.
yeah, they will just overlook some things. They will not take what you say at face value. And it's a challenge, especially when you have to like deliver on things and work with the team. But I think it's something that gets better. It hasn't yet gotten so good for me. It's something I'm still trying to figure out. But I think, and I believe that it starts with you, because personally, I know I am competent enough.
Yes.
So it's not questioning my competence or why they are that way. It's not because I am less competent and I'm not able to do what I do. Because for most of the things that we disagree on, there are things that I have already delivered on.
Yes.
And I have showed I can do it. So in most cases, it will be a projection of themselves or their discomfort with something. It may not actually be related to you. So I don't know. It's difficult.
What should young new bosses, young Gen Z people entering the corporate world be looking at to detect such people so that they don't have problems like you had, or not meeting deadlines, them feeling that inferiority complex? Because most times, because I'm also in the corporate world, most times we're working with millennials, and yet we are more of Gen Z. You find the millennial doesn't know a very simple thing, but
Yes.
so how do you detect such people early and ensure that it doesn't affect your work?
I think detecting them early, you'll see them in how they react to you in the first case. Because you go, let me say, to office on the first day.
Yes.
And there will be people that will greet you, and then there will be people that will look like they are judging you already. And I don't want you to be already biased that, you know what, these people are going to, because when you look for trouble, it comes to you.
Yes.
Like, let me say, if you look for offense in people, if you go with already, you have that inferiority complex that, you know what, I am already young, I'm what, it will come to you. But you'll see them, because let me say I go to work today morning and I greet James, and James doesn't reply. Okay? They assign us to do a task, and James is on phone, and I am the one
Doing the task.
That one already just starts to show you that relationship is likely to be what? Rocky for you. So now, on your part, the first thing you need to do is not take it personally. And start to infuse a lot of feelings, and then you start to do to them what they do to you.
Yes.
Because I believe how you act should be a reflection of who you are, not how people take you.
Yes.
You get it? So if you start to push back, that's when it really gets bad.
Yes.
And if you start pushing and pulling ropes when you are just starting out, you're bound to become these people that keep pulling ropes throughout their whole career. You get it?
Yes.
So I've been learning that when you meet people like that, the first people you should actually engage are your supervisors. Okay? Now, if there is no action on their side, and you see that there is no tentative solution that can be resolved by them, you then have to take it up and say, is this a mindset problem that this person can change? Or is it going to be like this? Because if this person can actually have and rectify that bias, it is something you can work to build with them.
Yes.
But if it's not possible to build a relationship whereby you work with someone, I don't think you should waste your time there. I think you should focus, do what you need to do in order to perform on your side, and then you let it play out, because you can't control everything.
Yes.
No.
So corporate life, I understand, is very stressing. You play tennis,
Yeah.
like we all know, or some of your friends. So is tennis like your escape route from this corporate stress and the pressure?
Definitely. And actually, my biggest regret is that I don't have a lot of it. Having the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, I can only play tennis on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually wish I had more of that.
So do you consider yourself a high performing guy because you only leave Sunday out?
No. And there's actually, if you consider yourself to be so high performing, it actually becomes toxic to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's definitely, you need to strive towards the balance. Okay. But it shouldn't be like the goal to either be high performing or balance. I think it comes naturally as you learn to juggle the whole life and work thing. It comes naturally.
True. So on that idea of the tennis being your escape route, do you have any other escape route for your stress? I'm not saying escape route in the sense that you could be mentally troubled, but everyone has something they escape to that makes that brings joy to them.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Negative or only positive?
It can be both. Make it more interesting.
Anyway, the one I don't like is the sleeping. Personally, when I am, let me say, like too overburdened and stressed, and I feel like, you know what, I need for this day to end, I will just go back and sleep. Just turn it all off. Yeah. So that is the one I don't like, but it seems to be the easiest.
Yeah, sleep is easy.
Yeah.
You just close your eyes.
Yeah, so my dad has a problem with it, because I usually go home. We live together, so I'm the one who cooks, I'm the one who does what. So when I go home and I just sleep, it means he doesn't have supper. And he also knows I have stomach problems, so if I don't eat, that's a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
But at that point, you don't consider all these things. You just literally go back and just...
Anyway, it's important for us to have the escape route.
Yeah.
For me, it's my podcast. I come here and express myself because some of my insecurities are defined in my podcast. I used to not be a very good speaker. I used to not be a very assertive guy. But with my podcast, I'm getting a bit more assertive because I have a space in which I can reflect. I have heard in rumors that you're also going to start a podcast. Tell me about that.
Okay, yes. Actually, I hope to release my first episode next week.
Okay.
Anyway, I want to start a podcast just because I also want to share my journey as well. I want to become more articulate. It's something I've always aspired to. And I'm influenced by that old gentleman called Jordan Peterson that you don't like.
Yes, I don't take a lot from Jordan Peterson because he rotates a lot around the point. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah.
Like in the sense that he could be explaining how to walk, and then he brings in a tractor. You start the engine, you start what. So, and I'm someone who wants to pick the points, the point and go. And I think that's why instead of reading books, I read summaries of books. I listen to podcasts because I want to see the point quick and just go.
Wow.
Yeah. But talk more about your podcast. What is it going to be about?
Yes.
What inspired you to start it originally,
Mm.
and how is it going to be laid out?
So the podcast is generally about life, okay? And I want to focus on growth. You know, the whole personal development thing is already tainted, but it's a personal development podcast. You can't hide away from it. And one, I want to share the journey, and two, I want to help people, because you'll see that the self-help industry in the other countries is so,
In the US.
yeah, big. But I see a lot of potential in us, you know, the people around me, that I know all they need to do is hear 2, 3, 4 people say one thing, and they will start to get their life together. Okay, just like I did, you know, coming up with all these, you know, the mindset and everything I've been doing was because I used to listen to podcasts, you know, watch YouTubes, read books, all these things. They're ideas that are thrown to you in a podcast that helps you grow up. So I want to help people grow. I want also to host people just like I'm being hosted. And I don't know, I want to make it as big as I can, because I believe in hitting big.
Yes.
Okay. And I've already been writing. My writing actually improved as I started writing articles about real estate. So I believe my speech can also improve if I start doing a podcast, you know. So I guess I'll have to come back a few episodes later and tell you about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the first thing to start anything is to actually start,
Yeah.
like to ignite.
Yeah.
Because the car can't move without igniting. I'm now speaking like Jordan Peterson. Anyway, before we wrap up, I want to ask you, what's the one piece of advice you would give someone who is feeling stuck in their personal life, in their... Okay, what's that one piece of advice that you can give someone for this interview? Someone
Yes.
listening to this interview.
It's human to have bad days,
Okay.
but you know, you don't let them define you. I have had a lot of bad days whereby I still get things done. Okay, I've had a lot of bad days that ended bad, but something good came out of it weeks or months ago. I mean forward. So you're going to definitely have bad days, and I have this theory that I don't pray for bad things to happen. I mean, I don't pray for only good things to happen, or pray away the bad things, because they're actually bad things that I fear. You get it? I fear maybe like getting knocked down and what. So if, let me say, a problem is to come to me in the form of, you know, at work, something I can handle, I would gladly welcome that, other than the alternative of getting knocked down.
Yes.
So bad things will always happen. You'll always have bad days, but you always look up to yourself. I mean, yeah, you don't compare outwards. You just reset and you pick yourself up.
Yeah, picking ourselves up.
And you pat yourself on the back, like
Yeah.
our boss says.
Yeah. You pat yourself on the back when you do something good.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the life is yours.
Yeah.
The life is yours, and you can only look for the gratification from yourself. If you're not happy about yourself, you can't be happy about any other thing.
No, you can't.
All right, so I have a fun, small segment of a few rapid questions. You just give one-word answers, and just to make it more interesting, later you tell us the why.
Okay.
So, my first question will be, what's the one thing we do not know about you that is for only you?
My lack of focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very surprising for me to know that
Yeah.
you lack focus, and you're one of the most focused people I think
I'll
are
explain.
there.
I'll
Okay.
explain.
Why do you think you're not focused?
It's actually something that doesn't happen all the time, but I have periods whereby I am completely unfocused and I literally I cannot get myself to do anything. I just get paralyzed into, just be there, chase dopamine actually. But anything productive, zero. So yeah.
Okay. Then if you are to have dinner with at least 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
The first one would be Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn.
It's actually his audios that got me to start trying to, fix everything up. So Jim Rohn would be number one. You said 5.
3.
Three.
If you have the 5, you can mention them.
Next one will be Donald Trump, because
Okay. Okay. That one is also mine. I would want to sit on a table.
yeah,
with him,
just
or even
just
be
meet the guy.
in a house with him for
Yeah.
like a week.
yeah, definitely. And then I would want some. I have very very many questions about the Bible, and so I would want Jesus on that.
Okay.
And not in a disrespectful way, or in a way that I don't believe in what or anything, because I do have my faith, but I think it would definitely
You would get
fun.
the truth. It's called the truth. You
Yeah.
get the truth first hand.
So those are the 3 people,
Okay.
and I don't know who would fight who first, but
No, they don't need to be on the same table, but yeah, they don't need to be on the same table,
yeah.
but they can come once in a while. You have Donald Trump today, but that would be a very loud table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a loud side, so we would connect.
Tell me about that loud side. I know I'm winding up, but tell me about that wild side, and then
That loud side is actually the fun side of me. I like that side. You'll always see it during the trips we have, during the nights out. Even when I'm at home alone, actually, is when I'm the loudest. Because now, like, I live with my dad, but most of the time I have the house to myself.
yeah.
Yeah. So I am the guy who is on phone calls on loud. The phone is the other side. I'm here. I have my weird dance moves that are only for me, where I dance with myself while seeing my reflection in the
Fire
TV.
dancer.
No. Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway, I think that's a wrap. Thank you again, Raymond, for being my first guest, sharing your journey with us, and making this a very special episode. And for my listeners, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out next week's episode. And also, I think in the links or in the description, I'll put Raymond's details, because he's going to start a podcast. You can comment, follow him, make him great, because he's in for greatness. I hope this episode resonated with you, and if you liked it, share it with someone. Let's stay intentional. Let's stay growing. I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you, Raymond.
Welcome.